Hi, everyone. Now, when we think about reading, it's usually something that we think, you got to be kidding me. That was something that was done 100 years ago. We now have our laptops and we got television and radios, all kinds of different devices. Read? Well, it's really not as far out as it sounds because reading gives you and me an ability to understand stuff. And quite honestly, we need to be able to do that. Reading helps us with other things. Now, let me give you an example. I'm got a book here. It's called Freebird. Now, I have to give credit. I feel great about giving credit to a man who is a minister. His name is Rick Schertz, and he's now in Illinois. He wrote a book called Freebird, and it's about his Christian faith. Now, what you have to understand is he was trying to express his view of life as much as he could from a personal perspective. And it's really very simple. It's not a like getting up and hearing a Sunday morning sermon. It's very everyday. Let me read to you. I'm reading to you from the 14th hole. This is page 117. The 14th hole had it all. Not only was it a par five, but it had water on the south side of the fairway, a short dog leg just before the green, and an unusual collection of sand traps midway to the hole. Unquestionably, it was the toughest hole on the course. Ned placed a solid drive. Now, when you think about that first, your first idea is 14th hole. Why do I care about 14th hole? Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because what do you think of when you think of golf? Anybody? No, don't say boring. Yeah, it can seem to be boring. And don't say it, you fall asleep. Aha. A lot of people fall asleep. But I actually think one thing about announcers that whenever they do their announcing on a golf uh, event, they're almost always quiet. It's like they're whispering. It's almost as if they might be sitting 2 feet away from the people putting. I don't know if that's the case, but it sounds like that. Well, let's for a moment pretend like we're not 4 feet away and that we can actually consider the fact this guy is looking at the possibility of playing a 14th hole on a golf game. What is usually in a person's mind? Well, first thing comes to mind is the hole in one, which, yeah, flip a coin as to whether you can get it. It's highly unlikely, depending on the size. But still, if you can get one above what's expected to be par, man, you're doing good. If you get two above, oh, you're even, I should say two below, actually. That's the way you should say. Net one under par, two under par. That's the way you should say. But the bottom line is, it's a challenge. It makes you think of an everyday experience where you are challenged. Look what it says here. The 14th hole had it all. Not only was it a par five, but it had water on the south side of the fairway, a short dog leg just before green, and an unusual collection of tree and traps midway to the hole. Unquestionably, it was the toughest hole in the course. Now, if you just read that with a, okay, who cares? He's doing a golf game, you will fall asleep before you get to the second sentence. But if you read it like, I think this guy feels challenged. I think this guy is really thinking hard about it. Now, even if you say to yourself, well, that's silly, if you are at least looking at it from the point of view of, hey, this guy's really thinking about this, then you're engaging what the writer is saying. And that's what's important about reading. If you just look at it as words, and he's going like this, the 14th hole had it all. Not only was it a par five, but it had water on the south side, the fairway. You're going to be on page, whatever it is, 117 for a very long time because you could probably stop and look at the clock 6 times before you get to the end of the sentence. You have to look at that as something that's more than just what's written down. You say, well, you're getting really crazy. No, I'm not. Because remember, the people who write these things, whatever it might be. I'm talking about this book in particular. They could be another book. It could be a classic that you're reading about. Not this will become a classic, but the point is, if I name a classic to you and you read it, you have to realize that the person who wrote that book wanted to give a message out, wanted to say something. And what you and I need to do is when we're reading, capture it. Instead of going, the 14th hole had it all. No, you got to go, the 14th hole had it all. Oh my God, this guy is into golf. And then you go, not only was it a par five, okay, par five. In other words, you got to get it in four to get one under. Remember, I did it wrong earlier. Okay, you got to get one under to score something there, right? And then it says, but it had water on the south side of the fairway. What does water matter? You don't want to get the ball in the water. That's what he's talking about. And then you go ahead and say, a short dog leg just before the green. This guy is describing the layout for us as we're trying to imagine ourselves in his place. You see, what we just did there was make the reading something to want to figure out. Now, the more you look at it, it says here, and then it says here, a short dog leg just before the green, an unusual collection of 3 sand traps midway to the hole. Suddenly, you're imagining in your head sand traps, water. Gotta get 4 before I get in. You got your mind is starting to spin a little bit. You allow yourself to get engaged. And that's the big word, if. You have a choice. You can look at it and go, oh, it's only 30 seconds after I started. Or you could say, hey, Ned plays a solid drive. Next, there's Tyler here. Now I'm seeing Tyler. Tyler plays his tee and took a practice swing. Clearly his mind was not on this game. Ha ha ha. Anyway, his drive sailed past the bunkers and landed near Ned's ball while placed midway to the green. Friends, in just 2 paragraphs, you've already got an idea in your head as to what's going on. And you've only read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sentences, maybe 9. 9 sentences. See, when you decide to read, it's pretty cool, isn't it? You're starting to get a picture in your head, and that's what you want. Because if you keep reading, it's going to open up before your eyes. And so suddenly, what that writer was trying to tell you, you're going to get it. Think about it. Let's read later.